on Power 101.7.
In a speech addressing voting rights in the U.S., President Biden says that the right to vote should be, quote, simple and straightforward.
But some things in America should be simple and straightforward. Perhaps the most important of those things, the most fundamental of those things, is the right to vote. The right to vote freely. The right to vote freely, the right to vote fairly, the right to have your vote counted. The democratic threshold is liberty. With it, anything's possible. Without it, nothing. And for our democracy and the work and to deliver our work and our people, it's up to all of us to protect that right. This is a test of our time, what I'm here to talk about today.
And there you go. I mean, look, we've said it many times. Me personally, it's just me, but I think it should be like the easier the better. Mm-hmm. Shouldn't be difficult at all. I mean, we're in a world of convenience. We're in a world of,
I've never
should be done legit, but it should also be done easy.
Experience, any issues. So I don't know what needs to change.
Okay.
I don't know what they're trying to work on. I don't know what is hard about doing it.
Some areas, I guess it's
right.
Easier, and some areas, I guess it's harder. So, but he delivered that speech at the Philadelphia National Constitution Center yesterday, and he condemned efforts in many states to restrict voting accessibility as un-American and undemocratic, saying that protecting voting rights through passing legislation and restoring part of the Voting Rights Act is national imperative. Mm-hmm. He also called out attacks on voting rights, a 21st century Jim Crow assault, and the most significant test of our democracy since the Civil War in the 1860s. At the same time, Biden offered few actual proposals to achieve it and didn't speak about, changing the filibuster, which some Democrats have been urging in order to get voting rights measures passed in the Senate over Republican opposition. However, Biden did say that he would launch a nationwide campaign ahead of the 2022 midterm election so that voters have, information about the rule changes and restrictions that have been passed in several Republican-led states since the November presidential election, or that could still be passed before the midterm. So he's going to get information together so, you understand, have a little bit better understanding of what's going on with, the voting.
Changing. Okay.
So supposedly COVID-19 cases in the U.S. have doubled in the past 3 weeks in mostly unvaccinated areas. Mm-hmm. Okay, so if you're vaccinated, you're good, but in the states that are less vaccinated than others, that's where the cases are rising.
Seeing a spike, okay.
Okay, Missouri, Arkansas, Nevada, Louisiana, and Utah. Over the past 2 weeks, 5 states had the biggest 2-week increase per capita. And that, of course, is due to lower vaccination rates. So, again, I guess the message is get out, get vaccinated. Let's get these numbers back down. Okay? Senate Democrats said late last night that they reached an agreement on a budget that would spend $3.5 trillion over the coming decade, which includes funding for climate change, health care, and family service programs wanted by President Biden. But they faced the Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer called a long road to go to get legislation done that'll be acceptable to both moderates and progressives in the party, as well as get through the closely divided Congress, which Republicans potentially unanimously opposed. There's also a separate $1 trillion bipartisan infrastructure measure being negotiated. The Democrats are hoping to get the budget resolution reflecting this agreement in Congress before the August recess. However, that will only set broad spending and revenue guidelines. So trying to get that budget agreement passed. We'll definitely keep you up to date on that. Speaking of budgets, prices for U.S. consumers rose in June by the most in 13 years, driven by a rapid increase in spending as the country emerges from the pandemic that's run up against a widespread supply shortages. The Labor Department's report out yesterday showed that consumer prices rose last month to 0.9% for May and 5.4% over the past year, the biggest 12-month inflation increase since August of 2008. The Federal Reserve and White House have said they believe the current inflation will be temporary as supply chain bottlenecks are resolved. However, it could lead to the Fed to act earlier than expected to retreat from very low interest rates. So, coming off the pandemic, high demand, things that, are becoming shortages. That's the reason for the season.
Jeez.
White House announced yesterday that First Lady Jill Biden will attend opening ceremony of the Tokyo Olympics later this month. And what will be her first solo trip overseas as First Lady.
Okay.
In addition to the July 23rd opening ceremony, Biden is also expected to attend some of the competitions. Her visit will happen even as Tokyo has entered a new state of emergency over the increase of coronavirus cases, which led to the decision to hold events without any fans.
Yeah, no spectators.
It's crazy.
Yep.
But, things in other countries aren't going on like they are here. They're not having this fast vaccination. This is what's happening in the U.S. Again,
It's different.
I say it. I've been saying, I don't know.
In other countries.
Things have been coming up every day where I've been led to say, aren't you glad to live in the
aren't
U.S.?
you glad to be here? Yeah.
You know what I'm
Blessed.
saying?
Blessed.
So people complain. We live in the greatest country in the world. Norwegian Cruise Lines have sued Florida Surgeon General yesterday over a state law that bars cruise ships from requiring passengers to show proof of the COVID-19 vaccination. The suit claims that the ban, quote, poses, harms and the duty bound to protect the health and safety of its personnel and passengers. The cruise line is also seeking a preliminary injunction to allow it to begin checking passengers' vaccination statuses. Republican Governor Ron DeSantis' administration sued the CDC over its federal guidelines for vaccinations on cruises, and the federal judge sided with the argument that the CDC had overstepped its authority and temporarily blocked the agency from enforcing its restrictions. So basically, the CDC had recommended that to go on cruises, you got to show proof of, vaccination, like your Vax card. Governor Ron DeSantis said, well, that's HIPAA. You're kind of overstepping your boundaries, which I agree with. Me personally, I don't think, you should have to show a vaccination card. That's like.
Well, now you can buy them on eBay, though.
Jess.
What?
Jess. But
No, you
apparently
can't,
Norwegian Cruise Lines is stepping up because Florida is like, one of the meccas of cruises. I mean, that's you go down
Yes.
the ports, and that's where you cruise out of. That's one of the main
That's
places.
one of the big ones. Yes.
Yeah, so that's why this cruise stuff, all this cruise talk. Norwegian Cruise Lines is suing the state of Florida for saying that they can't ask for a Vax card.
Yeah. No, I know.
So, what do you guys think? I'm interested. To know what you guys think. Should places require? I mean, you can't. That was like a big question when they were giving out the Vax cards. Are you gonna have to show? The Vax cards in order to go out to eat?
Right.
In order to go into a store? No.
Right.
But, I mean, kind of like a license. But that's like a whole nother. Now, some countries are talking about it and actually doing
Oh,
it.
yeah. Well, they started talking about that early, remember?
Yet again,
And with the
another
passports.
reason why we're a free country and the greatest country in the world.
You had to,
Some
show
people
proof.
choose to get it. Some people don't choose to get it. It's all you. It's all good. I don't think it should be a political thing. You can get down the rabbit hole and all that, but
Oh, boy. No. Let's
no,
not.
but I'm just saying it's not a political thing. A vaccine is a vaccine.
Right.
It's like the flu
Your
shot.
personal choice. It's
You get the shot for the measles, the mumps.
whatever you decide.
You get the vaccine for whatever, and now it's for COVID. Do you have to show if you have to show your vaccine card for COVID, then you should have to show your vaccine card for, I don't know, Hep C, or you should have to show your vaccine card for the flu shot, or you should. So obviously that you're not gonna. So
Right.
why should you have to show it for this? But we'll see how that lawsuit goes. I don't think Norwegian Cruise Lines is going to win that one.
I don't think they are either.
That could potentially hurt them.
If you allowed people right now to get on that ship and go, it would be full.
Are they? They are though, aren't they?
There's still
Really?
lots of,
Just on that one or all the cruises?
oh, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. But
I thought cruises were
I have
cruises
a
are
family
bad.
member who's been trying and trying and trying, and now they finally have been able to hopefully keep their, reservation, and it's booked for October now. That's
Okay.
how far back.
Because of how packed it is, or because of like
Different restrictions
Oh, God.
and what they have to show.
Do you know
and
what
the
cruise
proof.
line?
No, but I can find out.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
I feel like Carnival would be the easiest to get on. I don't know why I say that, but
Let me
I don't know.
see if I can look up the event they're going to and if it'll
Well,
tell me.
I'm trying to go on a cruise. We love best
I've never
vacations.
been, and I would love to.
God, no, you wouldn't. You get sick. But best vacations we've ever had.
Oh no!
Yeah, go ahead. I would tell Chadwick to go buy. If the stories that you tell, I would rather Chadwick go and enjoy himself, and not have to worry about
Miami,
you.
Florida to Nassau, Bahamas. Let me see. I don't know if it's gonna tell me.
I want to book a cruise for the family, my wife and I and kids, and go to Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Go to the Bahamas, Jamaica.
You want to do that on a cruise?
Yes,
Do all those stops?
hands down. Love it. Cruises are the best vacations ever. Best vacation we ever had was on a cruise.
No, I know.
So
No, it doesn't say it here.
we went on the Disney cruise and we went on a Carnival cruise.
Which one was better?
I mean, I love them both. Mm-hmm. The Disney cruise is definitely like the Mercedes of the cruises. I mean, it's
Right.
also
Well, it's Disney.
triple the price, and I mean, and I'm just saying that because of they had like the food, the seafood, and
Right.
again, it's Disney. But
Yeah.
Carnival cruise, nothing. I'm not going to say nothing bad. I mean, I would go on a Carnival cruise right now.
Yeah.
We had a blast. Love
I've
it.
heard great things.
Love it. So you just relax all day. Jess, you got some local stories.
Yes. All right. In Salisbury, the Salisbury Police Department has confirmed that there was multiple victims involved in a triple shooting that took place on 1st and Fitzwater Street. The area has been secured with police tape, and Salisbury Police is saying that there's no threat to the public at this time. There's several pieces of evidence at the crime scene. Investigators are still trying to piece together what happened. They're unaware of any injuries at this time, and we will continue to update you as more information becomes available on that entire situation. Also, a jury found Kelsey Hall guilty of stealing over $150,000 from Canada Dry during her time of employment.
Canada Dry.
31 years old, and she was the warehouse and operations manager for Canada Dry between the dates of December 2017 and August 2018. And during that time, according to court documents, she embezzled over $150,000 by overbilling a company credit card and then issuing refunds to her various PayPal accounts. She was sentenced 3.5 years behind bars, and during a statement with the Wycomico County State's Attorney, Jamie Dykes, she says, "Too often employee theft destroys businesses. Mrs. Hall's conviction and sentence should serve as a deterrent to others inclined to violate the position of trust, offered by their employers." And the Delaware Department of Health and Social Services say that they're going to be changing the way that they do testing for COVID-19. They have partnered with Curative, and they're going to shift it using a self-administered saliva-based test to a self-administered shallow nasal test. The new method is expected to have the same turnaround time, which is about 24 to 48 hours. The new Abbott shallow nasal PCR test has been phased in, and they've been working on this since June. The Delaware Department of Health and Social Services says that the tests are changing, but Delawareans still will not have to pay to get tested. They also say that testing sites will continue collecting health insurance information for those getting tested. So the tests are arriving. You're going to be monitored and instructed and trained on how to do it. It does involve putting the swab in one nostril and swirling it for about 15 to 30 seconds. People getting tested will then do the same thing to the other nostril. So just to give you a heads up, they are announcing changes to the COVID-19 test and how they will be administered from now on.
Okay. 6:51. It's a Bill and Jessica show. We got sports up next.
Take it to
Here's DJ Khaled.